This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal offers a home buyer's choice loan that can open the door to affordable home ownership. Because the home buyer's choice loan has no down payment options available, which means you don't have to wait years to save. Plus, you may be able to lower your rate in the future without refinancing with their no refi rate drop. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Loans subject to approval and eligibility requirements. Learn more at NavyFederal.org.
Support for today's show comes from Sonos. Watching games with the Sonos home theater setup makes everything feel more immersive. The Arc Ultra soundbar delivers incredible surround sound that puts you right in the middle of the action, bringing that stadium experience right into my home. And now I've been trying out the Sonos Ace headphones, and like all Sonos products, they perform as good as they look. Sleek design, crystal clear sound, and a super comfortable fit. Check out the full lineup at Sonos.com.
Just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
It's indeed that time again. Top 5 at 5. We are, I think, guest-free the rest of the way, correct?
For now.
At least for now.
You never know what can happen between now and 6:30.
Very true.
What was your favorite Brian Asamoah moment? He came like a comet, and now he's gone. The Vikings have released him today. Played a little bit on Saturday, if memory serves, in between watching J.J. McCarthy and Max Brosmer. I think he was out there for a little while, but he has been released by the club, and they also announced that Rondale Moore, probably not surprisingly, but certainly devastatingly for him, did suffer a season-ending knee injury on Saturday's punt return where he got tackled out of bounds, was carted off, had the towel over his head. I could tell was in a lot of pain, a lot of anguish, but his season is over for a second straight year. Different knee, second straight year. The Vikings nuggets of the day with no practice today.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And they preparing for the joint practices starting tomorrow against the allegedly vastly improved New England Patriots, although I don't really know if they're that improved.
I heard Chad Graff, who used to work here,
Yeah, he's
Pioneer Press. He covers the Patriots now. So he's coming to town, I think. Tennessee had him on today on the Tena Fitzgerald. And I didn't realize that the Patriots and the Vikings have the same over-under at 8.5. Think about that.
That is interesting.
Patriots, by Graff's admission, have like the second easiest schedule
it's
on
schedule
paper.
related. We've got, I think, we're top 6 toughest, correct?
Bring it on is what we say.
Yeah.
How about this for former Vikings that are coming here tomorrow? Vidarian Lowe, don't remember him. Kyrus Tonga, don't remember him.
either.
John Parker Romo.
Yeah, I remember him.
Kicker, right?
He's
not John David Booty.
You sure he's not a quarterback?
Is
John David Booty.
Is John Parker Romo the kicker?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think we called him Parker Romo and then John Romo.
I think you're right.
Garrett Bradbury.
Oh, yeah.
He's back.
We turned
Blood
on
sweat
him.
guy.
Yeah.
We did turn on him.
Yeah, we did.
Rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephon Diggs.
Oh, I forgot about Diggsy.
Diggsy is with the New England Patriots.
Wonder if the faithful will try to get on him, try to razz him, get him going.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. I bet they
Vikings
don't.
fans. They might not even notice. To be honest.
Too hammered?
Yeah. Well, that
Too much smoke at camp?
He's been gone a while now. It's kind of rearview mirror stuff.
Division news that's interesting. Jordan Love is undergoing surgery today
definitely
to
worth a
repair a
note.
ligament injury to his left thumb, but the Green Bay Packers expect the star quarterback to be ready for their season opener. But it makes sense. It's his left thumb, right? He really shouldn't need his left thumb all that much.
Yeah, you still got.
Or am I overrating?
You gotta be able to listen. I'm trying to think if the motion, the throwing motion.
I mean, you want to have two hands on the ball sometimes.
At some point, and then you got
to release it.
I think
it's a shame the cameras aren't on to capture this.
Better left hand than right hand if you're a Packers fan. No question about that. Or thumb, I should say.
Yeah, I don't think this is much of a. It's obviously news. He's their starting quarterback, but I don't think it should hurt them much. No pun intended. We learned, was it yesterday, that the Wolves will play on Christmas against Denver, the final game of.
And the good news is there are people bitter that were the last game, but then that means you're going to be able to enjoy both the Vikings. There's some separation, right, between the Vikings on Christmas Day and those Timberwolves on Christmas Day. So you should actually be happy. The way I put it the other day is, it gives you, if you happen to have to be around people on Christmas Day, relatives that you'd rather not be around, you got even more opportunity to just say, my nose is in the game, right? Now you got 2 full games. You can go, I'd love to talk to you, Uncle Larry, but they're just starting the second half of the Wolves-Nuggets game. Because that's a long day between 3 hours of football and 2.5, 3 hours of NBA. Are we NBC? Do we know what network we're on Christmas Day?
That one is ABC and ESPN.
ABC and okay.
Yeah, that's quite a Christmas picture you paint there, by the way.
Well, there's a lot of people who are around extended family that they don't want. I mean, they can't admit this, but say, "Oh my God, we're going to get into political talk," and they're going to say,
"Well, that's the funniest thing my brother-in-law I think has ever said." One of the funniest things, because you know how you save money on Christmas presents. Are you aware? Do you know how, if you want to save money on Christmas presents?
There's a lot of ways, but yeah.
Well, the way he suggested or recommended was talk politics at Thanksgiving. That's a brilliant line.
Well played, yeah.
It's a great line.
It's a good line.
Uncle Trevor, stay hot, buddy.
Well done.
The other nugget, though, I wanted to give you, and it is a nugget because it's against the Nuggets. We're talking about streaming services, so I think the full schedule comes out on Thursday. I'll be going game by game because I can't wait. The Wolves on Monday, October 27th, will host the Denver Nuggets as part of Peacock's doubleheader.
Okay.
Peacock's going to be doing the Monday night doubleheader.
Can we ever play anybody but the Nuggets on national TV? My God.
That's why part of the reason why I brought it up. But
it starts to get a little old, doesn't it?
So we've got the Christmas game there, and then the Monday, October 27th. And I don't like the 8:30s here.
No, that's late.
Because that's a buzzkill. Yeah. But we can't do the cage. And that'd be a great cage day, too, by the way, because the Vikings will be on their mini bye. Because they play Thursday night the week before against the Chargers. So would have been a tremendous cage opportunity for us early in the season, but it's an 8:30. So anyway, that's the nugget about the Nuggets for a second straight schedule leak time on Monday, October 27th. Where do I want to go next? Oh, the Minnesota Twins. Why not? They lose the series opener to the New York Yankees last night, 6-2. They are right back at it in the Bronx tonight. Your guy on the mound. I know you'll be excited. First pitch about 6:05. Travis Adams on the mound. Travis Adams opposing Carlos Rodon.
Can't imagine you want anybody else to stop the bleeding.
And Wallner's back tonight, too, by the way. Or they're activating him, it sounds like. So I saw that email.
Yeah, the Yankees are not doing much. Right now, I think the Yankees have the third and final wild card spot. So technically, these are games, if we're going to actually try to master the illusion that we're in this thing, these are games you think you'd like to win, and they'll have the opportunity to get back at it tonight. I think Buck returned and hit a dong, didn't he?
I think that was the
early Buxton
bright
dong.
spot.
Yeah, exactly it.
There you go. Let's straddle at 5:12.
We'll do that. Lots to get to between now and 6:30, including something called, are you familiar, Gaardsy, with the term assuming positive intent? Do you know about this?
I think I do. Yeah.
Assuming positive intent, which is what everybody always assumes when they listen to this show. More on that in a minute.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Shout out to Sonos for supporting today's show. At home, whether I'm watching Monday Night Football or I'm flipping between all the games on Sunday, sound quality matters. And this is where Sonos comes in. Their speakers bring your sports experience and entertainment to life. So whether it's in your own home there or you are out streaming music wherever you might be in your headphones, Sonos is the company for you. Sonos makes it easy to bring all your entertainment into every room in your home with their home theater speaker system. It's amazing. You want to feel like you're in the game, every crowd moment, every hit. Sonos speakers, that's the way to do it. Home theater cinematic sound, you want to bring those films to the next level. Guess what? That's how you do it. You got the Ace headphones too, amazing sound quality with crystal clear highs and powerful bass. You don't just hear the content in those headphones, you feel it. Trust me, I've got a pair. I know what I'm talking about. And you get up to 30 hours of battery, 3 hours of playback with a quick 3-minute charge. It doesn't get better than that. So if you're serious about great sound for football, podcasts, or music, you've got to check out Sonos. Visit Sonos.com to learn more and explore the full Sonos lineup.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. And this summer, you're in the driver's seat with savings. You can get a $250 bonus when you buy your next car through Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar and financed with Navy Federal. With this tool, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Navy Federal strives to support all active duty, veterans, and their families to achieve their personal and financial goals. And this partnership with TrueCar is one of the many tools Navy Federal uses to help its members. Make your plan with Navy Federal and TrueCar today. Navy Federal Credit Union. To qualify for the $250 bonus, car purchase and financing must be completed by September 2nd, 2025. Terms and conditions apply and are available at NavyFederal.org/TrueCar. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Fantasy Football Training Camp is back at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. You can join Paul Charchian and the Fantasy Football Weekly crew this Friday, August 15th in the Full Deck Ballroom from 6 to 9 p.m. Enjoy elite fantasy football knowledge and your shot at the $1,000 grand prize. It is a free 18-plus event. Get the full details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
There's some ardent Steely Dan fans that have weighed in on our Yacht Rock discussion. I'm going to save a couple of those for perhaps a little later, for sure. And we may play an old game on this show, Astute or Asinine, before we are indeed done. Maybe some more snarky New York-style tabloid sports headlines to discuss as well. So there's apparently something in the world of high business and management that's called assuming. The phrase is assume positive intent.
Okay. Sounds like something right out of Kwasi's handbook.
It does, actually. It's not a mantra that I live by, obviously, but I don't think anybody's going to get confused. But this was one of the, the Star Tribune now has about like 65 strip voices, various column writers.
Yes.
And this individual, and again, I apologize for when you print these opinion pieces, the name never shows up. You know, I know somebody wrote it, and on the original, when I was reading it, oh no, here it is. I'm sorry, it is. There is an editor's note at the end. Steve Reuter, Reuter. He's described as a Minnesota-based organizational consultant and speaker and facilitator.
Love it.
Oh my God,
love it. What are those again?
Consultant, speaker, and facilitator.
I'd love to be a facilitator.
With leaders to build healthy dynamics in workplaces, communities, and politics. God, that's a good gig if you can get it. God bless you, man. I if you can pull that off, I'm more power to you. I'll be the last to. I'm just jealous. Put it that way.
My favorite facilitator will be in studio tomorrow at 3:30, Lindsay Whalen. That's the kind of facilitating I'm interested in.
I'm glad you jogged my memory on that, so here's what I have as the up-to-date, most accurate pronunciation of Carrington.
Oh, yeah. Somebody sent this to us.
First name. I tried to do like I probably should just play it, but I'll try to say it. What I have is Dejanay Carrington. D-E-E, that's the pronunciation I'm saying. Dejanay Carrington. That's what I've been told is the closest we've got yet to the correct pronunciation. Is that what you have?
Let me pull up.
You want to? Why don't you want to play it because it's an interview?
The Holly Rowe thing.
Because she'll know.
She should.
She's a professional.
Dejanay, you're new.
Dejanay. So it's not Dejani or Dejane. Dejanay.
But I think it's a ja.
Oh,
not a ja.
Dejanay?
That's what Marnie texted me yesterday.
Dejanay. Not Dej. Oh, you might be right, yeah.
Let's listen.
Dejanay, you're...
Isn't that kind of a ja?
Dejanay, I guess.
Dejanay?
I don't know. It's close enough. We'll find.
And we'll get the final.
Whalen, I hope, will know. Although, I don't know. Whalen might not know. Yeah, she probably does have a nickname. Anyway.
All right, there we go.
So, apparently, there's quite a debate in the word salad circuit regarding, management speak. Basically, the thrust of this piece is, here's the example that was used. An employee tells her manager that when he referred to the team's brainstorming process as powwowing, it felt dismissive of her Native American heritage. His response, quote, "I had no idea that was offensive. I was just trying to describe collaboration." Of course. It's unbelievable. I think you need to assume more positive intent. And the writer kind of takes off from there. Well-meaning supervisor implements mandatory daily check-ins because he wants his remote team to feel more connected and supported. And several team members express that the meetings feel like micromanaging and make them uncomfortable. The supervisor responds, "I'm just trying to help the team bond. Why don't you assume some positive intent?" So the way he's using it is basically to say it's becoming an effective management tool to blunt any criticism that comes their way, right? And I would say this isn't really complicated. On the powwowing thing, it's probably a term that's shouldn't be used.
A little dated, probably.
In 2025. And you can still have positive intent, but say, I'm not going to use it. And so the thrust of this is it's this relatively new thing in management that this writer suggests. It goes back to 2008. And the phrase gained widespread popularity after Indra Nooyi, then the CEO of PepsiCo, shared it in a Fortune magazine interview in 2008. When asked about the best advice she'd ever received, she credited her father. "From my father, I learned to always assume positive intent. Whatever anybody says or does, assume positive intent," which to me is rather childish, to be honest with you. But it also does effectively seem to blunt any criticism. I would argue to the guy who wrote this, though, I think it cuts both ways. I think we've got, I think, certainly a lot of people in charge who are defensive about mistakes they make, and it's like, hey, what are you bothering me for? Okay, maybe that wasn't quite the right word, but you ought to assume think of the bigger picture. The message we're conveying is positive, and we're just trying to get you to a better place. That's feeble, and it does, as I say, blunt criticism. But that same issue has come up regarding managers who have better intent, who are actually attempting then to critique workers. And that workers also can be too defensive from time to time about, feedback that might be what they need to do their job a little bit better. So when I got done reading it, there's a part of me that says if you have a manager who every time, something goes wrong, this is the fallback, the catchphrase, assume positive intent, he or she's a bad manager. But it all speaks to the larger word salad, sort of, these terms that get thrown around. And that's, I think, part of the problem is we're too hung up on terms rather than just communicating in plain English and not like, oh, here's one to use. Oh, this will get them. This sounds, assume positive intent or assume collaboration. Or I honestly still think that managers and employees would be better off if there could just be an ability to speak English and not get in these seminars and go, all right, you guys are all looking for some catchy phrases that are going to sound cool when you tell them to your workers. And what we've learned over the years is, cynically speaking, it's to throw people off the track way too often, and they often lack substance. Just communicate with people directly, but this notion that anybody has to assume anything is not even, it's childish. Your assumption, I think, if it's to the positive, is going to get built up over time as you build a relationship with your employees. Right?
That's where I was going.
That's what's going to, because then maybe you are going to have a little equity. And they're going to go, okay, well, that's probably that maybe he shouldn't have used that term or she should have used that term. But over time, overall, I got to say, I think this guy or this gal's trying to make us better, or is trying to head us in a better direction. The notion that any catchphrase, in of itself, there's almost a satire that needs to be done to me on the whole piece, because it's all catchphrases, and it's all even
starting with the title,
in the title and the description of his own job.
That's what I mean. The title of his position. That's what I think. If you want to know what I think, what really makes people cynical about this whole process is that it all feels, again, kind of performative, as opposed to, just sort of over a period of time, not going with a catchphrase that you got. That is almost like, well, this'll flummox them, or they won't know that, they won't even know what hit them when I give them this one. They're going to go, oh, that sounds profound and sounds kind of dramatic. And I think generally what it is what you see is, well, he's trying to work the work and get the job done. And okay, we got 3 problems that have come up, and so we're trying to discuss those problems, and he's trying to help us through those problems. And that it has more to do with the specifics of each of those situations, as opposed to thinking there's any catchphrase that is going to result in the light bulb going off in the head of the person at the other end of the food chain, right? You sound like a thought leader. That's another one that could be in there.
Yes.
Thought leader's a great one.
Oh, my God.
Thought leader.
Yes.
It's all about time. It's all about trust. It's all about equity. You don't have to assume anything if you have those things. Now, maybe that's impossible if you just start somewhere and somebody says something that you don't quite understand.
Right.
So maybe that's where the assumptions come in. But with a lot of this stuff, you can figure it out on your own because you have worked with the person, you know their leadership style, you know what they're about, because you don't want to just assume really one way or the other. You kind of have your own proof if you're at a place for a various amount of time.
Some good texts have come in on it. We'll stay with this for a little while. We may play another game of Astute or Asinine and get to a couple of other things as well. The Bradshaw and Bryan KFAN text line is open, 646.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney designed, state specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Shout out to Sonos for supporting today's show. At home, whether I'm watching Monday Night Football or I'm flipping between all the games on Sunday, sound quality matters. And this is where Sonos comes in. Their speakers bring your sports experience and entertainment to life. So whether it's in your own home there or you are out streaming music wherever you might be in your headphones, Sonos is the company for you. Sonos makes it easy to bring all your entertainment into every room in your home with their home theater speaker system. It's amazing. You want to feel like you're in the game, every crowd moment, every hit. Sonos speakers, that's the way to do it. Home theater cinematic sound, you want to bring those films to the next level. Guess what? That's how you do it. You got the Ace headphones too, amazing sound quality with crystal clear highs and powerful bass. You don't just hear the content in those headphones, you feel it. Trust me, I've got a pair, I know what I'm talking about. And you get up to 30 hours of battery, 3 hours of playback with a quick 3-minute charge. It doesn't get better than that. So, if you're serious about great sound for football, podcasts, or music, you've got to check out Sonos. Visit Sonos.com to learn more and explore the full Sonos lineup.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. And this summer, you're in the driver's seat with savings. You can get a $250 bonus when you buy your next car through Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar and financed with Navy Federal. With this tool, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Navy Federal strives to support all active duty, veterans, and their families to achieve their personal and financial goals. And this partnership with TrueCar is one of the many tools Navy Federal uses to help its members. Make your plan with Navy Federal and TrueCar today. Navy Federal Credit Union. To qualify for the $250 bonus, car purchase and financing must be completed by September 2nd, 2025. Terms and conditions apply and are available at NavyFederal.org/TrueCar. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
86. Checks in from lovely, this time of year, Afton. Dan, I've dealt with the assumed positive intent for years. It is used selectively. It stems from the fact that we cannot have blunt discussions. Where it gets used now is to save the poor performers from scrutiny because effort is somehow valued over results. Yet another example of the problem we have as a culture about being able to have earnest debate about facts or merits of an issue, feelings over facts. That's Alan, as I said, in Afton. Well, I think there's a kernel of truth in what he's saying in that, you know, the example that word salad guy used at the beginning of his piece. An employee tells her manager that when he referred to the team's brainstorming process as powwowing, it felt dismissive of her Native American heritage. His response, no idea that was offensive, just trying to describe collaboration. I think you need to assume more positive intent. See, those are easy, right? I think that's not even a close call, a judgment call. That's just a screw up, a bad way of communicating in terms of communicating at least with that individual. Okay, where whatever your message was, it unfortunately that positive intent is going to get lost because it's so ham-handed. Where it is tougher. So I guess what I'm saying is those examples, those are easy to mock and ridicule and to say, well, you're not off the hook if you're the boss if you do that. Where it gets trickier and tougher is, I think, where Alan in Afton is going, is that we try to drum into you positive intent here because if we critique what you're doing, you immediately go to a place, well, that's awfully negative. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. When, in fact, some of the criticism might be legit. To me, that's where this gets, I think, more relevant, to be honest with you. The easy cases about, going over a line in terms of the language you use is very different. But it may well be that some bosses are saying, I got to go with this positive intent stuff, or at least try to drum it into people because I can't talk to them. They're immediately defensive, even if we have legitimate reasons to be concerned about whatever. The job being done, productivity, whatever, the case may indeed be. Now, you can turn it around and say, well, if you're one of the little people, you go, man, you guys are defensive when I bring stuff up, but I want you, same thing, to assume positive intent here. So it almost seems like the whole thing kind of becomes a meaningless cliche when it's used over and over again as this sort of label that's supposed to save you, inoculate you from any problems. But again, we hear this from people all the time that it's becoming, in many circles, in many companies, in many cultures, business culture these days, harder and harder to say to someone who's not quite doing their job, you're not doing your job. So maybe if you're in that environment and you're trying to save yourself from the defensiveness about someone who's not going to want to acknowledge that possibility, that is what maybe breeds the idea of, well, we got to push this positive intent here. We're not out to get you, but we are out to try to get you to do a better job because, quite frankly, we're not getting the results that we need to get.
I'm just very thankful that we don't work in a normal office where we don't have to hear this stuff all the time. It would not be a good fit for us, I don't think.
No, it would definitely not be a good fit for us. 100% true. So when the Vikings had 12 men on the field versus the Saints, I'm to assume positive intent?
Mm-hmm. And
exactly.
The position coach that was screaming at people and was completely unorganized on the sideline that didn't get the right personnel grouping out there, that person had positive intent?
Bieniemy, right?
That's the rumor.
Was that Bieniemy? I thought it was confirmed.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Had to have Tahi out there.
Dan, you're completely missing the point on assuming good intent. The message is an internal one that leaders speak to themselves regarding how they should take the perspectives or opinions shared by those that they are leading. It is not a message that is outwardly spoken to their followers. If that's how you interpret it, it's completely false. Well, it's false. Well,
just read the paragraph.
Read the paragraph. Now, maybe this guy, if you're questioning anybody, you're questioning this guy. Because literally, in the paragraphs I've read, that's the term, his response. I was just trying to describe collaboration. I think you need to assume more positive intent. So it is spoken. Now, maybe in some cases it isn't, but it's extremely spoken in this case. Assuming positive intent is, in my opinion, a personal perspective, not something you tell people or offer as advice. I think there's probably some truth to that.
I would agree that the boss doesn't need to say that to the employee. That's like, hey, assume a positive intent here.
I think, again, I don't think necessarily what people are saying is they literally use that term, but that's the message that in the manager's defensiveness, they are trying to convey when they get caught in a situation like this. I think that's what they mean, is the concept of assuming a positive intent. But some of that, as I said, I think is bred by a defensiveness on the part of not just managers, but also employees that this ain't working, man. We're going to have to talk about it. So I want you to assume here, I'm not here to get you. I'm here to get you to be better at your job. But I'll continue to say, I think the best way you do that is over a period of time, not by words, but by daily interactions or weekly interactions, whatever it happens to be in that certain situation. There's a feeling that, well, I didn't like hearing that, but he's got a point. Or I think this guy's, he has shown over time that he's trying to get me better. I mean, I guess you want to use a sports example because that's easy or easier. Tom Izzo. I mean, my guess is there's times where, as tough as he is on players, that they have a hard time accepting. Well, Tom saying, "Well, no, it's about." But remember, this is all about positive intent. But what have we learned about players who play for Izzo? They do assume that.
They know.
They know it because over a period of time, most times, he's not perfect, Izzo has established the working relationships with those players that they then do accept positive intent. So that's not about the words he uses. It's about what he nurtures over a period of time with, if you want to call them his employees. Although I don't even know. Well, I guess they are employees now.
Kind of.
I don't know if they're his employees.
Yeah, kind of in a way.
But yeah, that's basically it. Can you find the astute or asinine sounder for me? This is a weird one. I think will fall into the category of believe I'm going to be in the minority on this. I think this is one where people are going to admonish me for my position.
And now it's time for Astute or Asinine.
What page is this on, by the way?
It's the first thing on page A.
Page A?
In alphabetical order.
Oh, okay.
Astute or asinine.
Okay, that's pretty easy then. That almost makes sense. That's almost like we planned it.
We did years ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. So we've actually talked, I think we've talked about this before. And I think I've gotten pounded on it. But I'm going to go back to it. Because I think it's not a weighty topic, but it's a universal topic. It is my belief that if you have pieces of garbage, or more notably, you have retrieved your dog's poop on a walk, right? You get the plastic bag, you put it over there, we all, that thing.
Yeah, I know.
That it is inconsiderate to place said refuse, especially said dog poop, in someone else's garbage can.
Yeah, we have talked about this. This is polarizing.
I think it is polarizing. I think I'm in the minority on it. My theory on this is, because I already know what the comebacks are. Well, they're not like throwing it on your lawn. It's going to the garbage. Which presumably, if the garbage can's down, then it's being picked up that day, right? But I would say I'm kind of particular about what I do with the dog poop. In that, I end up then, if I'm going to have 2 or 3 bags, I then put each of those individual bags into a larger bag. Because I'm always leery of the possibility that something's going to leak out.
Yeah, you don't want that.
And then you got the smell in the garbage can, and I don't want that smell. So, to that extent, that's why I would never deign to put it in just the little plastic bag, that little baggie by itself, in somebody's garbage can. Because I don't know what's going to happen to it. I don't know if it's going to leak out, whatever. It's not up for me to do. My job is I've got two options. Put it in my own garbage can, or, there's in a lot of the walking paths, there's garbage that
or
you
parks.
At parks that people put that in. But it is a pet peeve of mine that we've got people who've just decided on their own, it's garbage can. I'm doing whatever I'm going to do. So I am adhering to the position I carved out years ago on this show. And I don't even remember where you were on it.
I think I'm more on your side.
But not like religiously.
Because I'm thinking about how I have handled it historically. I don't think I would put it in someone else's garbage can. I don't think I would mind necessarily if somebody put it in ours.
Oh.
Now, some of that might be because we have a dog and have had a dog.
Yeah.
And so it's going in there anyway.
Well, but then why wouldn't you do it in someone else's? If you say you wouldn't mind if somebody put it in your garbage.
Because it's not my house. It's not my can. It's their driveway. Now,
Well, yeah, but by that same logic, they shouldn't either.
I know, but I guess I'm not bothered by it if somebody does it to us necessarily.
Okay.
Now, if it makes a huge mess and you can prove that it wasn't your dog, I probably would be annoyed. I guess I'm putting myself in like the non-dog owners, because I think there's a couple of my neighbors that I would probably do it because they have dogs. Where I would say, hey,
gotcha.
Now, granted, it's like 2 houses down, so that would probably be extremely lazy of me.
Do you know what part of this is? This is the Larry David in me, I think. This is how far back this issue goes with me, right? The first house condo, actually, I owned in Minnesota was off of Lake, I can never say the name.
Bedamakoska?
Thank you. And we had I first, eventually we had a real problem. I mean, a real problem with a raccoon infestation under the deck.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Yeah, you've talked about this.
A nightmare. To the point where I'm convinced that, we used a pest company, I don't remember who it was, and they kept, it became a comedy. They would set up a trap cage, with food inside. The next morning, I'd get up and look in the back deck, and we got a raccoon inside the cage. And they would then come to retrieve it. They'd put another one up, and the next night there'd be another raccoon. And at some point, I'm going, "What are we doing?" It turns out they were living under our deck, but then we even enclosed it. But the problem was that the other side of the duplex, he didn't have an enclosure.
Oh.
So obviously, all the raccoons had to do was, this guy's an idiot. He's got a fence underneath, but we'll just go around this way, and we're still under his deck. So eventually, and so what they'd also do with this company is they'd have to attract the raccoon, the foulest smelling food I've ever smelled. I don't even know what was in it. It was disgusting. And on one of the occasions, they retrieved the can that still had a lot of the food in it. And the guy just dropped it in my garbage can. Not in another bag, not protected. So guess what happens? The whole garbage can gets smelly. Then pieces of this crap I've got to hose out the garbage. That's how long a memory I have. It's all related. It's the Larry David in me. That's how far back this goes. And so my obsession is I do not want to mess with that smell, and so I shouldn't have to, because it's not something that I would do. It's not that tough to do. Your garbage can is, generally there's another garbage can 50 feet away, or even less. Put it in your own can.
Well, that's it.
Put it in your own garbage can.
That's the answer, is just keep it to yourself.
Now, if it's like some recycling papers or a box, okay. I mean, that doesn't really have any harm attached to it, but that's it. Doesn't seem to be that tough to me.
I think you need to flip your narrative, though, around, or reframe your mind and assume positive intent of the dog walkers that are dropping poop in your garbage can.
Maybe I should.
Because they're just trying, they're picking it up, they're doing their job, and that garbage is all going to the same place. And hopefully it doesn't get all over your can.
And here's vindication. This is Tom from Savage. As a garbage man who has to get out and empty the cans, the poop bags do stick half the time inside the can.
Really?
So it's not just a 6-hour problem.
Interesting. That's good to know.
I will chase down and fight anyone who puts their pooch's poop in my garbage can. That's 612 guy or gal. What about cat litter, Dan?
Ooh, cat litter.
Can I drop a bag of that in your trash can? Isn't that smellier?
It is, but it's also kind of apples and oranges because you're not, walking around the neighborhood with that. Although PA does walk his cat, we're told. We have pictures of that. So maybe he does.
Do not put dog crap in someone else's garbage can. Maggots are a problem. Right, 7. I'm getting more support early than I thought. Jeff in Monticello, you're putting this in a plastic bag that will last for many years to come, and the dog poop will never dissolve. That seems in itself like a bad idea. Paper bags all the way. Take the survey, 763 guy. Well, but that's...
They don't give us paper bags on the trail. They don't give us paper bags at the park.
They don't do that. It's all plastic.
Yeah.
I mean, we could all do with less plastic. I think we'll agree to that in general, right?
We've all seen the 60 Minutes.
Have we? Is it like the pile of plastic?
In the middle of the ocean somewhere.
Yeah. Does that really exist?
Absolutely. And it will forever.
Yeah, that's the sad part. It's not going to biodegrade, right? I'd rather have someone.
Careful.
I don't know what that means. I'll leave that alone. That was indeed Eric Bieniemy, the running backs coach for the Vikings. Between him and Childress, I don't know who screwed up worse. Stupid penalty, and still not and that's someone who's still not over it.
Yeah, let's not go down this road.
Well, I didn't intend to.
I know, but let's not go down this road too deep. I'm feeling pretty good today.
Depends on if the garbage is full and yet to be picked up. Then I think it's okay. If it had been picked up and empty,
well, of course,
don't throw it in.
I think that's the distinction you're making. Why people think it's okay.
Exactly.
If the can is there and it's full,
but
and it hasn't been picked up. I would still submit
to you. I don't want your dog's poop in my because again, I don't put it in my garbage without putting it in another bag. At least once, sometimes twice. I don't want to have to mess with a messy garbage. And that goes back to the raccoon experience. That's what ruined it for me. And that wasn't even dog poop. What the hell are you feeding your dog, Dan? I would only put mine in someone else's if it was trash day, being picked up soon. The bags I use are pretty stout. Well, some of them are stouter than others. I don't know what bags they're using.
That's it. It's not your can to mess with.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah. I think you're more in the majority than you think on this one.
I guess I am, yeah. And maybe I was last time and I just don't remember. I thought it would be more like, oh, calm down. It's no big deal. It's a garbage can. It's all going to be taken away. But now we got garbage guy confirming,
could be a problem.
I'm the one who's got to mess with it. And no, it doesn't all. It does stick sometimes. It's annoying. I use somebody's asking, how could you pick up the poop with paper? How's that even sanitary? How would that even work? I mean, I guess
the paper's a little pliable. It's the same way as you do with plastic.
Yeah, that sounds more. Sounds a little bit more. Not very believable to me. Do you guys find this strange? I hate carrying a bag of dog poop for a mile. I bag it like a person should, but I leave it at the edge of the road, continue to walk. Then after I get home, put the dog in the house. I get in my truck, I should say, and pick up the bag. Never had a complaint. I got no problems with that as long as the obvious is you got to remember to get it.
Right.
I have zero problem with that.
Yeah, you're taking care of it.
As long as you're taking care of it, the idea nobody wants to walk with it, especially if your dog's having intestinal issues and maybe the smell. It's like you don't want to mess with that.
No.
So you want to be responsible. You want to take it off the path or the grass next to the path or whatever because it's a shared space. It's for everybody on the paths, right? So, yeah, I've done that before. Okay, you just got to remember where you left it.
That's it.
So you got to have some landmarks where you're sure.
Or put an air tag next to it.
Yeah, because you're going, well, I'm about to go a mile where there's no garbage can. So I'll come back this way, grab it, and then there's going to be a garbage can heading back the other direction. That's responsible.
There's lots of ways that you can take care of it. Yeah.
There's still too many people who don't pick it up at all.
I don't even like it when our dog goes to the bathroom in somebody else's yard. That's how Minnesotan I am of like, I don't want to be in anybody's way or anybody's bother.
I agree.
I'll try to go, can we go a little bit further? Can it not be in this
pretty
yard?
Hard, though, to stop the peeing.
That, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a little bit different in my mind. But I don't like it when you have to pick it up in somebody's yard because then you didn't get enough. Then you're just pulling grass blades out. You're coming back and bringing Scott's field turf to it to water it so it regrows. That's how paranoid I am about someone else's yard.
214 guy, they can swap out your can for free if it gets gross. I don't want to have to mess with that.
Yeah, why
Just
do we have
leave
to
it
mess with
alone.
that?
It's just not that big. Now, here's finally somebody on the other side of it. Love you, Dan, but you're just wrong on this. Gaardsy has it right. Place it in any neighbor's can that hasn't been picked up yet that you know has a dog. Garbage cans are based on current knowledge for garbage, and garbage, as a rule, smells bad. Well, but there are degrees of badness. That's all, again, related to how you bag your garbage and how careful you are about at least discouraging the smells that we associate with garbage by the way you wrap them up, right? It's just not that difficult. Kevin in Eden Prairie, I am a proud dog owner, have a mini trash can outside my house for my dog and his waste.
Gets his own garbage can. Wow.
So his bags are inside another trash bag that then gets put in the big garbage can to be picked up weekly. I feel confident in the security of the poop staying in place, but I only want my dog's poop on my garbage can. There you have it. There's a few more. It's very controversial. I don't know why today's the day, but I just figured it would be. I just didn't have much Vikings left in me. We had Seaford earlier.
Plenty of time for Vikings.
Pretend there's going to be an endless.
Got 6 months of Vikings.
It's just going to be plenty of it. And this I thought was universal enough. Polarizing, perhaps, but a universal enough issue. Top of the hour break. Back in just a minute with
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Shout out to Sonos for supporting today's show. At home, whether I'm watching Monday Night Football or I'm flipping between all the games on Sunday, sound quality matters. And this is where Sonos comes in. Their speakers bring your sports experience and entertainment to life. So whether it's in your own home there or you are out streaming music wherever you might be in your headphones, Sonos is the company for you. Sonos makes it easy to bring all your entertainment into every room in your home with their home theater speaker system. It's amazing. You want to feel like you're in the game, every crowd moment, every hit. Sonos speakers, that's the way to do it. Home theater cinematic sound, you want to bring those films to the next level. Guess what? That's how you do it. You got the Ace headphones too, amazing sound quality with crystal clear highs and powerful bass. You don't just hear the content in those headphones, you feel it. Trust me, I've got a pair, I know what I'm talking about. And you get up to 30 hours of battery, 3 hours of playback with a quick 3-minute charge. It doesn't get better than that. So if you're serious about great sound for football, podcasts, or music, you've got to check out Sonos. Visit Sonos.com to learn more and explore the full Sonos lineup.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. And this summer, you're in the driver's seat with savings. You can get a $250 bonus when you buy your next car through Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar and financed with Navy Federal. With this tool, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Navy Federal strives to support all active duty, veterans, and their families to achieve their personal and financial goals. And this partnership with TrueCar is one of the many tools Navy Federal uses to help its members. Make your plan with Navy Federal and TrueCar today. Navy Federal Credit Union. To qualify for the $250 bonus, car purchase and financing must be completed by September 2nd, 2025. Terms and conditions apply and are available at NavyFederal.org/TrueCar. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
More of your
Gabriel Iglesias is bringing his comedy tour to Treasure Island Resort and Casino live September 6th and 7th. Don't miss your chance to see one of the world's funniest comedians. Get your tickets today at TICasino.com.
I still have some leftover Yacht Rock texts I want to get to in our final half hour of the show. And if you're wondering, okay, so let's see, two of the big topics today. What you do with dog poop and Yacht Rock. Yeah, it's just turned out to be one of those days. We had, as it turns out, two outstanding guests as well. Kevin Seifert, plenty of football talk with him, and some Yacht Rock as well. And then Brian Oak on the Yacht Rock subject. And the only reason I brought it up today is I finally saw the 2024 highly acclaimed documentary on the concept. I thought it was very well put together. But I wanted to explore it a little bit about whether the term is pejorative, what we do with it, what do we, how we defensive we get about music we like, etc. And I'll go back to a sincerely held belief regarding music, which, as we all know, it's very subjective what people like and they don't like. But I categorically reject the notion that a pretty song needs to be denigrated as it's poppy, it's okay, but I mean, what's the message? What's the message it conveys? How urgent is it? I got no problem with cutting edge lyrics. I have no problem with biting. I've got no problem. And you could say the best of both worlds is good music with, profound lyrics. But I'm here to tell you, I argued about, I didn't argue about it with him, but I tried this on, we had tried to get Todd Rundgren on, who was just in town several weeks ago, and we didn't get him this time. I don't think we got him last time, but we got him several years ago. And, Rundgren is an interesting artist in this discussion in that he's always had sort of this two-pronged approach, right, where his most successful, the songs that made him a lot of money and really elevated him in terms of popularity were very poppy ballads. Hello, It's Me. Huge song, right? And he talked with us about how, you do those songs and then people want to hear them. And you got this other side, this Utopia side. He had a group called Utopia where we're trying different things. And I like to try to do different stuff, blah, blah, blah. And what I said to him is, I think the skill he has in crafting a pretty pop song has weight in of itself that you shouldn't have to apologize for. So that's my rejection. That's what bothers me a little bit about this broad category of Yacht Rock and kind of looking down on it is a pretty song that stands the test of time. That's gold, literally and figuratively. I don't think you have to. I don't think it has to be deep. It can be, doesn't have to be, and that there's still worth in that prettiness. It all depends on what you want to get out of your music. If you want to get your rage out through your music, or you think what a band is doing helps you channel your rage, God bless you. But that's, to me, to weigh that on a higher plane than just a beautifully crafted song where the melody is pretty, where maybe you have incredible background vocals involved in it and a good tune, I don't think that should take a back seat to anybody or anything. That's my point. And I think that's the way the critics work often, and the way sort of we've been led to believe is like, well, yeah, that's cute. That's real cute. But, was it? Well, no, if if that song gives you a certain feeling every time you hear it, no matter how old it gets, and for you, it's probably different songs than me, but you know what I'm talking about.
Of course, for everybody.
For everybody, it's like, I don't, I don't care. Because you could say, well, no, that's a beautifully done song. So that to me should be regarded on a higher level than it is. Because I said to Rundgren, I said, what you can do with that kind of music, that as well as you can do it, has value. Because not everybody can, even in that genre. Not everybody can do it. And to me, that you never sort of like sneer about that or should never look down on that just because it was a hit or because it was more popular or because, like I said, it's not a song where, oh my God, those lyrics were so profound. That's my point. Somebody texted this earlier on this subject regarding Steely Dan, because with Oak, we got into a lot of Steely Dan is kind of a lightning rod in the whole, yacht rock discussion, because Donald Fagen was asked if he wanted to be interviewed for the documentary, and he said, well, what are you going to name this? What are you naming my music? And they said, well, we're kind of putting it in the yacht rock genre. And he said, bleep you. And he hung up the phone, allegedly. And so Steely Dan has become kind of a focal point in a lot of this discussion. And texter guy from much earlier writes, Steely Dan bristles at it because they were very serious musicians, not trying to write catchy tunes to hawk records. There was an avant-garde approach to them as they went towards Asia. That was probably their best album, when they got jazzier and they got a little bit away from what you could say would be hardcore top 40. Pop music tends to be simple, LCD, lazy. Their approach was just the opposite. There's room for debate regarding the result, which they would, of course, take issue with, but not as regards their experimental creative approach. That's the gist of it. I don't even disagree with that. I don't. Because to reduce any of this, this sort of artistry to, well, that's, yacht rock for you. I mean, Steely Dan changed so much over the course of the time that they were together, Fagen and Becker, that it almost, in some ways, I don't even know that they sound the same as they did, in the early days, Reeling in the Years, all that kind of stuff. So, but the rap on Steely Dan was, well, it's too cute, it's too perfect. There's no rough edges. Well, who says there has to be rough edges? It depends on, again, what you're, trying to listen to. And I do think even as they went on, they wanted to make money. And so they did want to write. I mean, even as they got jazzier, a lot of their tunes were catchy. Asia is a catchy tune. Goes on for a while, but it's a catchy tune. But even that, I don't think you necessarily have to apologize for. So, who's to say? Is Boz Scaggs considered in that category? Is Boz Scaggs yacht rock? I can't remember in the documentary whether
I don't think they would be.
Probably in his hit, like his Lowdown days, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that Lowdown.
But he has since, he's got a lot more bluesy. He's always been more. But see, again, he's always been a lot more, versatile than that. Anyway, that's why I just, and that album is one of the best pop, most successful and best pop albums ever done. And it actually kind of came out of the disco age, technically, if you want to be serious about it.
I could see Lowdown making it in an iHeartRadio Yacht Rock playlist.
Yeah.
Where if you just put that playlist together, I could see that one getting spun. And it would fit in nicely. And it would be great.
It would, actually.
It's a great song.
It's a great song. It's a terrific album. That's one guy we've never been able to get. He doesn't do a lot of interviews at all. He's a very reluctant interview, unfortunately. Came to the assume positive intent discussion late, but I prefer to flip the sentiment and say don't assume the worst, which for too many people seems to be the default setting. Rather than assume positive intent, which can come off as slightly tone deaf, we can instead extend grace to others that we would hope is extended to us. That's well written. That's well crafted.
I like that, actually.
That's a good way to look at it.
Because I say that a lot.
Yeah.
Let's not assume the worst.
Yeah.
Let's not assume that's what I said that this morning. when something came up. Let's not assume that's what was meant.
Yeah.
Let's give a little bit of grace here and just see what happens after.
Dan Minnesota, I have a 70s playlist of my favorite mellow music. When I post it, they say, oh, that's yacht rock. I felt like it was a bit of a negative term and a bit oversimplified. It is. I honestly think it is. And I don't even think it's accurate. Now, you could say, well, they don't mean the yacht part literally, but yeah, they kind of do. As if there's something, elitist about liking many of those songs, which just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. All right, well, let's leave it there. A couple things to cover in our last segment, and we remind you we got a very good guest coming up the rest of this week and into next week, and it looks like the State Fair schedule is coming together pretty nicely. You're pretty pleased about where we are?
I am. Yeah.
Good.
We've always got holes to plug.
Yes,
and
right.
we're always kind of winging it.
Right.
At some stretches, but every day right now is very solid with much more to come.
Dan, this is from Clayton in Rochester. Your garbage can, your trash. The only thing you're missing in this conversation is you're not being completely inclusive as PA does walk his cat. PA does walk.
We have the photo evidence.
His cat. So do people, then does he pick up the cat poop?
I think he has to, yeah. I'm sure he does.
But I didn't think they did that. I thought they only wanted to do that in the litter box.
Yeah, I would assume, but I didn't even know cats went for walks until
I think it's rare.
I saw the PA pictures. And you know me, I grew up with cats.
On a leash?
Absolutely. I think they had a
gentle
leash.
leader?
But gentle leader. Shot collar. I don't think they need it after a while because the cat is so well trained. But again, I don't want to speak for Paul.
Man, that is it.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Shout out to Sonos for supporting today's show. At home, whether I'm watching Monday Night Football or I'm flipping between all the games on Sunday, sound quality matters. And this is where Sonos comes in. Their speakers bring your sports experience and entertainment to life. So whether it's in your own home there or you are out streaming music wherever you might be in your headphones, Sonos is the company for you. Sonos makes it easy to bring all your entertainment into every room in your home with their home theater speaker system. It's amazing. You want to feel like you're in the game, every crowd moment, every hit. Sonos speakers, that's the way to do it. Home theater cinematic sound, you want to bring those films to the next level, guess what? That's how you do it. You got the Ace headphones too, amazing sound quality with crystal clear highs and powerful bass. You don't just hear the content in those headphones, you feel it. Trust me, I've got a pair, I know what I'm talking about. And you get up to 30 hours of battery, 3 hours of playback with a quick 3-minute charge. It doesn't get better than that. So, if you're serious about great sound for football, podcasts, or music, you've got to check out Sonos. Visit Sonos.com to learn more and explore the full Sonos lineup.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. And this summer, you're in the driver's seat with savings. You can get a $250 bonus when you buy your next car through Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar and financed with Navy Federal. With this tool, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Navy Federal strives to support all active duty, veterans, and their families to achieve their personal and financial goals. And this partnership with TrueCar is one of the many tools Navy Federal uses to help its members. Make your plan with Navy Federal and TrueCar today. Navy Federal Credit Union. To qualify for the $250 bonus, car purchase and financing must be completed by September 2nd, 2025. Terms and conditions apply and are available at NavyFederal.org/TrueCar. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Show Wrap presented by American Pressure, commercial grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the Bumper to Bumper Show Wrap.
This would have been worthy of News on the March. In fact, why don't you go ahead and play it, News on the March. It's either page 1 or page 2, A or B, I think. Just for the record, final minutes of the show as we thank both Kevin Seifert, who joined at 4:30, and Brian Oak, who joined at 3:30.
News on the March.
By the way, tomorrow's program will include visits with Lindsay Whalen and Pat Kessler, back from Milwaukee, presumably, and we hope no worse for the air, where he also celebrated a birthday, and we'll find out exactly if it is his 79th or his 83rd. There's some question on that. In his first 203 days in office, Donald J. Trump has already signed more executive orders than Joe Biden or George H.W. Bush or 24 of the first 25 presidents did while in office. And the funny thing is, he had said sometime in the last administration that he was trying to phase those out. Latest being executive orders federalizing law enforcement in the District of Columbia and lengthening the suspension of threatened tariffs on China. Am I right that it's Friday that he meets Putin in Alaska?
I honestly don't know. It sounds right.
I think it's Friday. I mean,
neutral site game.
Well, somebody exactly. Somebody said we reached a point where it's like, why bother with? I mean, why does the Congress even meet? I mean, just going to do another decree. Just going to lay out another executive order. We don't need you guys. I'll just do it all. And again, if you like them, you love it. If you don't, put it this way, if it's a Democrat doing it to this degree, you're losing your mind. Oh, what's going on here? That's not his job. So it, once again, all depends on whose axe is being Al-gored. I laid out the lineup for tomorrow. It's another Dan Patrick night tonight, preceded by the highly acclaimed Fan on Demand as well. I don't think we've got significant corn sweat in the forecast. I think it's warm, but I don't think it's extremely steamy right now. Is it? Is that going to continue? Or as we get rain, is it going to get muggy again?
That is kind of the trend, right? The humidity with the thunderstorms. 58 dew point right now.
Do you refresh my memory? State Fair weather last year, was it good? Was it hot? Was it everything?
I honestly don't remember.
I honestly, year to year, don't remember.
Yeah. I remember Labor Day 2 years ago being really hot because that was the Kilborn Day.
Oh, that's right.
Came out.
Yeah.
There's always a couple of really hot ones. Sometimes there's rain. You just never know.
And sometimes it's been a little chilly.
Yeah. We saw a lot of hoodies.
Yeah, that's very, very true, Davey. Well, this is way. I wish you'd sent this earlier. One thing I haven't ever learned so far, despite how long we've had the KFAN, the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line, is how to forward texts. I know how to forward emails, but is there a mechanism by which I could forward this text to somewhere that then I could then refer to it later? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there is a mechanism to do that, but I've never asked.
Like forward it to yourself almost?
Exactly.
To remember it?
Yes.
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
I see a place to respond. I see I see a file this message to reply later. Let's hit that and see what happens. So I hit it, but where's the file? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that you just that one's the pin, I bet. So that probably went to the top.
No, that's the star. The star does that. It didn't go to the top. Yeah, the star is what puts it at the top. It says actions. You pin it. It says file this message to reply later.
So then go up to view filed message clipboard. See what that does. All the way up at the top, right under the pause sign.
I don't see no stinking pause sign. I don't know where you're looking. I got notifications, reload. I got search. Maybe your screen is different.
It's on the right side of the screen, right under 64686.
Oh, it says switch to classic platform. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's the same. I'll have you come in and look.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a different screen. And I don't want to switch to the classic platform because maybe it's been switched to this for a reason in here, so I don't want to mess with that. Yeah, I'd like to have it because it's a good it goes back to. Were you with us this day? Or we've talked about it a couple times. Yeah, you have been with me a couple times on this. People whining about the paywall.
Oh, yeah.
At StarTribune.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or any news site.
Yeah. Well, he raises a couple of, I'll just, if I have to, I'll take a picture of it to have, because he actually raises, a 763 guy, some decent points in rebuttal. And he's a person who is willing to pay, but he's beginning to wonder, as he sees the thing shrink, what's he paying for? Well, he's paying for varsity. That's the new thing, man. Star Tribune is basically pinning its future sports department hopes on a belief that a part of the paper, the sports section, that once upon a time was considered kind of specialized, is now the unifying force in the universe. Prep coverage. I mean, they're bringing. They got an armada, and they hired Randy Shaver's going to do a live streamable show Friday nights, which is a great idea, and probably will do well. But I'm still kind of curious. That's maybe something we could talk about tomorrow as we get into, like I said, some very good guests as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks indeed for listening. And, keep your dog pooped yourself, okay?
What the hell's going on out here?
All this negativity that's in this town sucks.
Change the space. Be happy. Enjoy it.
I'll be around.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero. Is it in you?